My name is Angeline. I'm 29 years old and I'm a teacher. My hobbies are reading to kids. I love reading children's stories. I actually have a YouTube channel for it. It's called Simply Angeline. I love to take walks. I love to take walks around my neighborhood or at a park. I love food, so I like to eat and try different things. And I also like to write. So those are my hobbies. I chose my profession, to be quite honest with you, it was kind of on accident. So if you can't tell kind of by my accent, I was raised in Atlanta, Georgia, and I came here for school. So when I was in college, I took like general arts and science because I really wasn't sure what I wanted to do. And just with everything going on in my life, missing home, felt like I didn't belong. I felt that I kind of was different. I was like, things would be easier if I just moved home. I got my diploma, but I didn't have the grades to like transfer credits. And I didn't let anybody know in my family about this. So I was just looking for schools and I was like, oh, what can I do? And I found a school that had a double degree program, which was general arts and science and then education. I was like, oh, 2 degrees, I can get a job with that. So I applied, but since I didn't have enough credits to transfer, I started from square one. So I've been in college for 2 years, go to university, start from square one. I was so embarrassed. And just taking some education courses and seeing how like the system was just so messed up and like the things that the kids needed to hear and needed teachers to do. I was like, no, they need to do this. And like, this needs to happen. And it kind of grew into, oh, I actually like this. So that's kind of how I started my teaching journey. Not a usual story you hear, but it's the truth. What keeps me motivated is just remembering why I did it in the first place. Why did I start? Because me being a teacher, there are days where it's really rough or weeks that are really rough. And I'm just like, you know what? I can't. And when you get to that place, you have to make sure you take care of yourself, but also remember, why did you even get into it? Why? What was your why? And remembering why and remembering those times where it clicked or that person needed me and I showed up and I was able to help, that's what keeps me motivated. Who inspires me? What inspires me are those teachers who are just really strong for just like anti-racism, racist education, anti-Black racism, anti-Asian racism, anti-Indigenous racism, just those teachers who are fighting the status quo, the norm of how education and teaching should be, and just them doing it. And I know that they get persecuted a lot. And those teachers who are teaching kids not just certain things from the curriculum, but certain things that are happening in life, because life is happening, especially 2020 and 2021, things have changed drastically, or they changed, or things that were kind of, we know it's there, have been brought to the forefront. And those teachers and those people who are just like, no, like we have to do this, I commend them, because that inspires me. You know what? I have to do what I have to do to teach these kids what's really going on in life and in society. Yes, I have faced many obstacles in my career and in my profession. I have faced them. I think just at the start applying and with my applying to education, I feel like that even started. But I also feel like the more pressure you have, it builds you up. Not to say, you need to have pressure, but those instances where things happen or those conflicts and those obstacles, now looking back on it, I'm just like, this is why I am the way I am. And that's what this is why I was meant to teach and help and inspire. Just with you have, say, a hard student, or sometimes a student you think is hard, you just don't understand, or you haven't made that connection, just making that connection. And those times where you're like, am I doing enough? Or just kind of reflecting on my own teaching practices, those type of obstacles. Because, I don't know everything. I'm a teacher, but I don't know everything. And it's okay for me to not know, but it's also okay for me to learn myself and be like, you know what? I was doing it this way, but I can do it this way now. The steps I've taken to get to where I am today, they're kind of two paths. So one way was sort of education, and that can be going to school, but also learning things on my own and looking things up. Like I said before, I'm a teacher, but I don't know everything. And so it's important for me to learn about different things to make myself more knowledgeable, but also pass that on to my students. But then also sort of those lessons that I learned within myself, just trying to go through like life's obstacles, where it's profession or just personal, and taking that self-reflection, and incorporating that into my profession or helping my students. I think that goes a long way. And I think that's kind of where I am and how I got here today. The skills that I think that are needed for this profession is vulnerability. I feel like, not all, but I feel like there's some teachers like, oh, I've done this since 1977 and I'm gonna still do it in 2021. No, you have to be when you're vulnerable, you're more inclined to be open to other things, because not every student is the same and not every teacher is the same. And so if we call ourselves teachers, we have to be able to help our kids learn in a way they understand. And I feel like that's important, because I feel like there's some teachers, or even some people, just like, no, I've been doing this all this time and it's gotten me where I needed to go, so you're gonna learn it this way. And it's like, no, you have to be vulnerable and just be willing to make mistakes. I'm a teacher, but I always tell my kids, if I do something wrong or I have misinformation, oh, I'm sorry, I was wrong, but here's the right answer, or I'm sorry, let's look for the right answer. Being vulnerable is very important, because the kids know, like, oh, I can come to this teacher, or this teacher's teaching me things that another teacher may have never taught me before. Another skill is just being personable. It doesn't have to be, oh my God, hey, in your face, just be like, hey, how you doing? How was your day? And just having that connection with other teachers and students. And like, I feel like when you say being personable, it has to be one way. And being personable is a variety of range of things, and just taking time to talk to your students. Because, a lot of kids go through different things. Some may be good, some may be bad. But just be able to be personal and have those connections, I feel like it's important. And also, another skill is, I think, time management. That's a skill I'm still working on, but hey, we're progressing. Just time management, just what you're going to do and when you're going to do it type thing, just having a process of it. I'm not going to lie, I'm not the best with time management, but I'm working on it. And hey, that's important, being honest. I think my favorite part of my career is kind of just helping students grow, or helping students see something a different way, but also having students knowing that there's something in the students that they haven't, either they don't see themselves yet, or they don't know how to bring that out, and helping that student to do that. I feel like that's probably the best thing, because some days are better than others, and you just try. But even like the big ones, or like the small things, I'll be like, oh yeah, I understand. Or a kid's like, you know what, I'm sorry. A kid apologizing for something that they did and they shouldn't have done. Just those big and little things that make the kid realize, or you see the student is growing as a person. I would say that's like probably my favorite. And also, like, I love teaching older kids, but when I do teach younger kids and I read to them, and I get into it, and if I get into it, the kids get into it. Like, there's this kindergarten class I see, weekly, and I read them stories like for one period, and like I have a lunch duty. So I used to come and be like, well, look who it is, or look who's here. And I say that so much, those little kids will, as soon as I come in, it could be quiet, not even to hear a pin drop. Once I come in, well, look who it is. It's Miss. And I'm like, oh my God, what did I create? Because it's my fault, because I was saying it to these kids. But I really love their enthusiasm. It's just kind of like minding their business, and all of a sudden, whoosh, they're like, ah. I love that. My least favorite part, there's a lot of grading, and you have to be on top of your grading. Sometimes I get flustered and I'm like, okay, I gotta do this. And grading is important, but also I have to manage my time, making sure I do this and this, because kids will be like, where's my grade? Have you graded it? And I just picked it up maybe what, 30, 40 minutes ago. And they're like, so did you grade it? No, I didn't. I will though. Yeah, and then sometimes the politics of certain things, it can get to you, but just remembering why you did it and what you're doing it for, and how many other people can benefit from your gift, I think is important. So take you guys a day in the life. So for right now, I'm at 3 different schools. One is online, so luckily I get to stay home. So I mostly focus on like grade 6, art drama, and then I do reading intervention. So I really love that. So usually when I start my day, go to a school, usually have different groups I read with, and like help them, encourage them with confidence. And we start with like vowels or different skill sets they need for reading. And then I do have some kindergarten classes, but we usually just go outside, or I dance with them. So I usually try to get my steps in. So I'm always like, oh guys, let's play, or let's dance, or do something. So they like that. And usually I end the day most of the time with another reading group. So we'll just like read stories, or like I'll show them pictures first, we read the book, and then we kind of consolidate. Usually for my online class, I teach grade 6. So I usually start off with sort of like media literacy, and then we do like art and drama. Like right now we're talking about narration, but we're beginning, because we did tableaus and freeze frames. So I wanted them to write like a fairy tale in like 5 freeze frames. And then we're gonna talk about the tone and different things, how you would say stuff. So I really love that. And then we usually end with like phys ed. So I've been trying to do different things online for phys ed. I actually did Taekwondo with them, and I did like a kickboxing class to say I was tired. So usually that's kind of a day in the life of being me, a teacher. Take 11. What are my long-term goals? I love teaching, I love inspiring students, but I also feel like I'm a lover of the arts. So I love to write, I love drama, I love making art. So I have a YouTube channel where I read different children's stories about diverse backgrounds and like different stuff. So I would love for that to take off. And my YouTube channel is simply Angeline, Angeline. And I feel like I can just kind of be myself and act as crazy or as dramatic or as insightful as I want to, and like not be judged. So I would love for that to like even take on further, or like become, or if I'm still in teaching, just like teach drama, art, and do reading, because I honestly love that. Like that's where I shined, and I feel like I help more kids through that. How do I maintain a work-life balance? To be quite honest with you, I was struggling for a long time with that, because it's like work, or I gotta help this kid, or I'm stressed about this kid. I want them to succeed, but they need this. I need to get it for them. What can I do? And it's like, I can't take care of my kids, my students. I call my students my kids because they are literally my kids. But how can I take care of them when I can't take care of myself? What am I showing them? Like I'm less than, So I should take care of everybody else, but I can't take care of myself. So one thing I've been practicing diligently is, just like, instead of me going straight to work, I'll just come sit down on my couch or sit down in my chair and have my cup of coffee and just reflect, or I meditate, I pray. I also try to get massages. I haven't got one in a while, but I need to go back. Just doing things for myself to help my mental health and my well-being. Because once I do that, I've realized I was like, I'm more calmer, I'm more aware, and I can do my job diligently. Like yesterday, I went and got a pedicure, and that felt awesome. And I was able to do what I needed to do for work, and that was awesome. So doing things to take care of yourself and what makes you happy also can correlate to your profession, which will help. So that was a hard lesson that I'm still learning, but I'm also learning to treat myself and appreciate myself, because I can't wait for someone else to do that. I have to do that for me. The advice I would give to someone who wants to become a teacher is ask themselves, why do they want to do it? Like, really, why? Because I feel like there's a lot of misconception. Oh, you guys get 2 months off, you get weekends off, you get all this money. No, no. Teaching is such an ongoing thing. It doesn't stop. It literally doesn't stop. It does not stop. And just figuring out why you want to become a teacher, was because of a bad experience that you want to be like, no, I don't ever want another person to feel that way. So that's why. Or it'd be a good experience. Like, this teacher helped me out so much that I want to do the same thing. Just thinking about why you want to do it. And then also look at the different schools you want to go to. So for Canada is Teachers College, or in America, because I was raised in America, what college you want to go to, where can you shine, and where can you thrive to learn as much as being an educator? Because I feel like that's important. Where you go to school and what you learn helps you become a better teacher. So looking at where do you want to go, what's the pros and the cons, and talking to different teachers, even your past teachers, and getting that advice and that help. Because, hey, getting as much knowledge as you can doesn't hurt anybody. And even if you need me for advice, let me know. I would gladly help, because, not a problem.